All right, so let's come to our mat, sitting down in a cross-legged position. Nice way to start, just to get ourselves into the space and just feeling ourselves grounding down and coming into a mind that is still, or at least we're gonna try. So it helps to come to that still place and just transition from bustling around or doing whatever we had to do before this. It always helps to take those nice deep breaths, and I find that 3 really helps me to kind of get myself into a parasympathetic state. So let's take a nice deep inhale, feeling our chest and our belly fill up. And then try to make the exhale longer than the inhale. Awesome, we'll do that 2 more times. So taking a nice inhale, really deep and really long, until you're so full you can't take any more breath in, and then letting it out, trying to make the out breath longer. In this way, we're signaling to our nervous systems that it's time to relax. And then another deep breath in. Filling up as much as you can, and then you can just sigh it out. Just releasing everything now. Good. All right. Now that we're here in the space and we've taken a few deep breaths just to come into this room, let's just acknowledge that we're here together, even though we're on Zoom. We are practicing together, and we have all of our energy here in this space, even though we're not geographically in the same space. So just something to think about as we practice. If today you're feeling like you have lots of energy and you have lots of love to give, then just feel yourself sharing that with others. And maybe you don't have a lot of energy and you need to conserve it, and you need to keep that energy and love all for yourself. So just whatever you feel like today. All right, let's get started. We're just going to bring our arms above our head. So inhaling and reaching up towards the ceiling, and then just a gentle side stretch. So the left hand comes down and the right arm reaches over to the side. We're just opening up the side body really gently here. So taking a few deep breaths into the right side. Today we're going to be doing some heart opening and chest opening. And part of that is opening up the side body too. The area around the chest and the heart. Good, and then inhaling and reaching up with both hands. And exhaling over to the other side now. Maybe you don't get too far in your side bend, but as we stay here for another 2 deep breaths, you may feel yourself moving a little bit deeper into the stretch. Good, and then coming back to center, let's switch up the cross of our legs so that our hips don't get sore on one side or the other. And we're going to do some more opening for the arms, actually the armpits. This area tends to get really tight. So if you inhale the right arm all the way up, and then take it and reach it for your mid-back. Good. And then you can take your left hand on your right elbow, and you can gently just press it back. So you're feeling a nice stretch in the right armpit, making sure there's no tension collecting in your shoulders. If so, just think about your shoulders coming down, releasing away from the ears. Now, some people, not me, could reach up and grab their hand like this. You can also do it with a strap or a scarf. I can't do that yet, so I just take this one. Good, and then you can let that go. And we're gonna come to the other side. So now stretching into our left armpit. So reaching the left arm up to the sky first, really getting some length in there first, and then moving it back toward your upper back, right in between your shoulder blades pretty much. If you can reach with your other hand, you can clasp them together. If not, just take that right hand and gently press the elbow down. Again, checking in with your shoulders, bringing them down. 2 more breaths here. Feeling the opening in your armpit and your lats. That's the side of your armpit. Good, and then just taking that back to neutral. Are you doing a stretch, Gardaki? I don't know if you guys can see him, but he's stretching out right in front of me. Good, and so let's do some neck rolls now just to release that, because I feel like sometimes I crunch up my neck when I'm doing that. So just taking your right ear to the right side, and just breathing here. And then if you want, you can bring it around and chin comes down to your chest. Oh, that feels good in the back, doesn't it? In the back of the spine, and then over to the other side. And then down, chin to chest again. Making sure you're not rounding in your back, spine is still straight. And over to the other side. Awesome. Good, coming up to neutral now. Already feeling a little bit more open in our upper body, hopefully. Let's come now onto all fours. Just gonna take my socks off. Come onto all fours. Awesome, and then when you get there, reaching, crawling your hands out a little bit in front of you. We're gonna push back into puppy. So crawling your hands back and then dropping your chest to the floor, bum comes back. You might have to crawl your hands out a little bit more. What you're doing is you're aiming for your chest to get near to the mat. And it might not be there at all. It might be close, but just breathing into that space. Breathing into your armpits, your chest, the sides. 2 more deep breaths here. Checking in with your shoulders, making sure they're not tense. You might have your forehead to the floor like I do. As long as this isn't painful for any area of your neck. Good, and then from here, you're gonna release the elbows down onto the mat. And we're coming into a Sphinx pose. So elbows are down in a 90-degree angle, hands are out in front of you, and then coming down onto your belly, slowly down. Awesome, so elbows should be right underneath shoulders. Good. And then what we're doing here is already, if you can feel the opening in your belly, you know that the front of the body is open in this pose. So we're going to increase that a little bit. Tuck your tail first so that your lower back is safe. And then feel your heart pushing through, opening. And it might just be the smallest movement and so subtle. But feel your heart pushing to the front of the mat. Elbows can be almost digging back as heart comes forward. And you can experiment with this. You can come out for a moment and then come back in, making sure your neck is in one straight line so you're not scrunching your neck. Good, and then just feeling that subtle opening in the chest, in the shoulders. Heart is beaming through. You might even feel your back, so your thoracic spine, you might feel your shoulder blades working too, pinching together. And then on the next exhale, let's move back into a child's pose. Wide leg or legs together, whatever you like. Just moving back to complement that opening and that back bend in the front body. So now we're doing the opposite motion. We're just releasing the lower back. You can wiggle your butt from side to side. Just do any small movements that you feel opening up your lower back. 2 more breaths here. Sinking into the mat. Feeling yourself relaxing. Letting go of tension. Letting go of all that the day brings. All the stories in your head. They're just stories. Let them go. And on the next inhale, we're going to come back onto our bellies. This time hands are beside us, like right next to the chest. So they're not out in front of us this time. They're right beside our chest. And we're going to go into 3 baby cobras. Again, opening the heart and strengthening the back. So the thoracic spine, those back muscles that keep us standing straight. Good, so tuck your tail. Tops of the feet are pressing into the mat. This is so that we don't injure our lower back. And then on the inhale, gently press up, opening up the heart. So it can be as small or as big as you want it, okay? So it might look so tiny like this. I'm doing a baby cobra right now. Or you might have more range of motion. It might look more like this. So let's do a couple moving ones, okay? So on the inhale, we're pushing our hands into the mat. Heart is opening. Exhaling, lowering the forehead to the mat. Inhaling again, focusing on using the back muscles to open up. You can use your hands as well. Exhaling, folding down. You might feel this in your triceps as well. Inhaling, heart opens. You can look up, open up that front body. Exhaling, and your head comes down to the mat again. Good. So maybe just wiggle side to side to let go of any tension that accumulated in the back. And coming up into Sphinx again for just a second. Okay. Oops, nope, we're going to go back down because there's one more that I want to do while we're on our bellies, which is going to be opening our heart and strengthening our back body. So back down to your bellies. Again, tucking the tail, so you really want to feel your pelvic bone like tucking into the mat, and then your tops of your legs are pushing in as well. This is how we're going to protect our lower back. So then clasping your hands behind you. So I'm not going up very far, but clasping them behind you and then opening your heart and your chest. And trying to breathe here. It might just be one breath, and then you can lower down, gently relax for a second. Maybe you're just on one cheek. And then we'll do 2 more of those. So when you're ready, inhaling, coming up again, opening up the heart, clasping the hands behind you, and then exhaling, folding down again. There's another version of this where you're not clasping your hands, you're just reaching your hands back behind you, which is a version that I'm going to do right now because the other one is really hard for me. So inhaling, opening up again, and exhaling, cheek comes to mat. Oh, take a big breath here and sigh it out. We just did a lot of work with our with our upper back and opening our heart as well. Awesome. I really feel like I need to press back into a child's pose. You can join me there, or you can press back into a downward dog if you want. Just something to complement that opening, strengthening in the back. So come back into child's pose. If you're in downward dog, pressing your hands into the mat, feeling your seat lifting to the sky. Maybe trying to work those, the bottoms of the feet down to the ground a little bit closer. And breathing here. Releasing your neck. Make sure there's no tension in your neck. You can just kind of, wiggle your head side to side if you like. Fantastic. So from here, from downward dog or from child's pose, you can come on up and take your right foot and bring it up to in between your hands. However you like to get it there. And then you can set your back knee down. We're coming into a low lunge. And we're going to do so coming on up now, hands can come to your knee just for some balance for a second. Yeah, good. Awesome. Let's set up for, to bring the hands up into a cactus. But first, imagine that your tail is tucking, so you're thrusting your pelvis forward a tiny bit. And then both of your legs are strong, pushing into the mat with your right foot, pushing into the mat with your left knee. Good. And then on the inhale, you can float your arms up to the sky. And on the exhale, we're going to cactus our arms and push your heart through. Imagining you're thrusting your heart through. Good, that should feel really good. And then just relaxing your arms at the back. Yeah, coming down like that, exactly. And then inhaling, let's do that again. Pushing your heart forward, feeling your open chest. On the exhale. One more time. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, pushing your heart through, opening up your chest. Good. Let's place our hands down by our right foot, and just bring that foot back to meet the left one into a downward dog, or child's pose, or you can go into a plank. Not a plank, sorry. You can go into all fours. If you're in all fours, you could do a few cats and cows if that feels good. If you're in the downward dog, move around if you like, or just stay still. Opening up the backs of our legs. Strengthening the shoulders. And then on the next inhale, taking your left foot now and bringing it in the middle of your hands. However you get there is fine. It can be in 2 steps, 3 steps. Doesn't matter. Have your back knee now down to the ground. And then lifting your hands off the floor and maybe setting them on your knee again for a second. Good. So we're feeling the opening in the hip flexor, right hip flexor. Mine's always super tight. And then if you feel up to it, we will now get the hands and the arms involved. If not, you can just stay here. Feel the opening in the hip flexor. Good, inhaling, arms come up. And exhaling, pushing your heart through. Then hands come around, back, and up again. You can make it one fluid motion, pushing your heart through. Opening up your hands, they come all the way down, around, back, and then up again, yeah. Okay, let's do one more just because it feels so good. Inhaling, hands come up. Exhaling, heart comes forward and through. Good, and then hands come down to the side. All right, let's go back into one more downward dog or child's pose, or whatever you feel like. Oh, I had to go into all fours, and now I'm gonna push back to downward dog. Many, many options abound when you are a yogi and you listen to your body and what it needs. It's not about what it looks like. It's not even about following my instructions. It's about listening to your body. Okay, let's go down on our knees again. We are going into a side plank. But actually, grab a drink of water or whatever you might need. We'll just take 2 seconds to do that. Good, yes, we want to stay hydrated. All right, so how we'll get there then into our side plank, I should say modified side plank, is starting on all fours. And then taking the right foot and bringing it back, kickstanding it back, and then opening up through the arm and the leg on the left side. Good. Awesome. So we'll just take this nice deep stretch here for a second. Your arm can be straight up towards the ceiling, or it can come over your head for more of a side stretch. And then we're gonna open up the chest a little bit more in an interesting way. So bringing your left leg and bringing it up just for 1 second while we get into this one. Yep, good job. And then bending into your right knee and grabbing your right ankle with your right hand. We've done this one before. I've called it a quad stretch. This time I want you to push your foot into your hand and feel that opening in your chest. Yes, it is a balancing activity. Bringing that right foot out as a kickstand a little bit more, it could help. But yeah, inhaling here, feeling your left side of your chest opening up. Looking down to the mat if this is hurting your neck. So just remember, you can use this stretch as one to open up your chest. You just have to really kick that foot back into the left hand. Okay, let's let that go now. Coming back to center, maybe just coming down onto your knees for a second. Just take a second to let that all sink in, and then we'll do that on the other side too. And then we'll come down and do some more relaxing stuff. So yeah, start on all fours. And then now we are on the left foot kicking back. So really kick that left foot back to give you all the balance that it can give you. And then opening up, straightening the right leg, and opening the right arm to the sky. Beautiful. Yeah, that looks great, you guys. Awesome. you want, you can take your right hand and reach it towards the front of the room, if that feels good. Check in with your neck to see if your neck says that feels good. And then let's go into that chest opening stretch. So bringing the right leg and jutting it out straight to the back of the mat. Good. Oh yeah. And then grabbing the right foot and pushing into the right hand with the right foot. Feeling that opening of the chest. Whew. This is a wobbly one for sure. Looking down at the floor if it's hurting your neck. Making sure your tummy is engaged too. That's gonna help. This is a really active pose. This is probably the hardest pose in this class, so if you're feeling it, that's why. All right, releasing that all and just sitting down for a second, however you want, whatever feels good to you. Awesome. Okay. Let's go on we're gonna do one more active pose to strengthen our core. And then we'll come down with a few more stretches before we close the class. So let's do boat as per usual, but I'm gonna do a really modified version for myself tonight. So yeah, this is a version that Diana and I were talking about, and if you're having any lower back issues, or if your hip flexors and lower back are trying to take over in your boat, you can do this version. So it's basically just like how we always start, with our feet on the ground, knees bent, and then opening up and lifting your chest, making sure that your spine is straight and your crown is lifted. And then all you're gonna do is lift your hands up and open up your palms to the side. Good. And then if you want, you can also involve your legs, but I'm not gonna do that tonight because I really like this version. Feeling your core engage here. This is such a good workout, even with your feet on the ground. I just feel like my chest and my heart can be so much more open right now. If I take my feet off the ground, it's a little bit hard. Okay, good. Release that for a second. Whew. Do whatever you need to let go of that one. And then we're gonna do 2 more rounds like that. I'm doing the highly modified one. You can choose whatever one your body wants you to do tonight. Okay, good. So setting up, making sure your core is engaged, tummy is tight, tail is tucked, and then opening up through the heart, reaching your hands out to the side. Yes, oh my gosh, everyone looks so graceful. Okay, let's breathe. 2 more breaths here. One more breath. I am shaking. Heart is lifting. Chest is open. And release. Okay, you can go cross-legged if that feels good. I think we'll stop there with the boat. Sorry if that's disappointing to anyone. If you really want to, you can do one more. So after boat, let's open up our front body by doing reverse plank. I love this pose. I always forget to do it. So a lot of people can do reverse plank with their legs stretched out in front of them long. So if you want, you can try this version first. This isn't my favorite version, but I'll try this one first. So legs stretched out, hands are behind you, opening up your heart, lifting up your chest, and then on the inhale, you're gonna lift your bum and your hips up to the sky like that. Yeah. So for me, that one's a little hard, so I'm just gonna teach the other one. The other one would be feet on the ground, legs are bent. You're literally going up into a tabletop. So exhale, hips come up. Yeah, that's right, tabletop, perfect. Let's do a few moving ones. So exhaling, bringing your bum down. And then inhaling, lifting your bum up and opening through the chest. You can lean your head back if that feels good. Really getting some opening through the heart, shoulders, throat. Exhaling, coming down. Let's do 3 more on our own, whatever feels the best for you. If this doesn't work for your wrists and your hands, you can see what I'm doing. I actually have my hands in fists because my wrists get bothered by this one. Exhaling, bum comes down. Let's do 1 more. Inhaling, opening up, opening through the shoulders, heart, chest, throat. Exhaling down. Good. So the teachers, the yoga teachers teach that one with your palms on the ground, fingers facing forward. But my body doesn't really like that. It just doesn't do that. But if you like that one, try it out and you can do it next time that we do that pose. It's also really good to have those wrist stretches, especially for us that write so many reports. So I think it's probably good to do the pose like that. I just always avoid it because it does hurt, but I think a little bit would be probably good. So we'll try that next time. All right, so for our final pose, we're gonna go onto our bellies again, and we're gonna do that chest stretch. So coming to the belly, and then getting situated and putting out your arms in a T. So both arms are in a T. You can have your forehead to the floor if that feels okay. And then you're going to, so we're gonna open up the right side to start, okay? So we're stretching the right side and opening the left. So left hand comes near your chest and you can push your body open. And you might find your foot comes behind you and you can set it gently on the ground. Make sure your head is relaxed on the mat. So your right cheek should be on the mat. Good. And then just feeling into that and breathing into your shoulder and chest. This one's really intense. So if it's not good for your body right now, come on out and do something else. And I trust you guys know exactly what's good for your body. If it's feeling good and you want to intensify it a little bit more, take your left hand and reach it back towards your right hand. Feeling your collarbone really opening there. 2 more breaths here. Making sure you can still breathe. It's not yoga if we're not breathing, right? So, good. Okay, and then you can come out slowly and gently, working your way back. So your belly is back on the ground. Awesome, your arms are out in a T. Head can be down on the floor. And then we'll take that to the other side now. So, stretching through the left side, but we're opening up the right. Pushing on the mat with that right hand and just opening up the right side of the body. The leg can come behind you, foot on the floor. Breathing here. Checking in with your shoulder, making sure there's no actual twinging, pinching feeling. And then if you want even more of a stretch, taking your right hand back and just reaching it to meet your left hand. You probably never will, but just even reaching it, you can feel that opening in your collarbone, chest. Make sure you can breathe here. Make sure you're not tensing the rest of your body to try to compensate for how intense this is. If you are, think of letting everything go. Good, and then rolling back. Coming back onto your belly. And one of your cheeks can come to the floor. Just take a moment to rest here. Feeling into your chest and your shoulders. How do they feel right now? Letting go of all of that work that we just did. And then making your way over to your back. Unless you want to do a belly shavasana, that's totally fine. A lot of people love belly shavasana. If you do come to your back and you do have your foam roller or your rolled up towel, we're going to position it so that our spine comes, okay, so the roller can come to, the end of the roller can come to the bra line. This is to open up your chest a little bit more if you want to do this. And then you're relaxing back like with your head onto the roller. So it's essentially opening up your chest in more of a passive pose. So if that feels good to you, you can take your rolled up towel or your foam roller and open up your chest more. If not, just a regular shavasana. Check in to see which one your body wants right now. Good, and then relaxing here so that your body can absorb all of the work we just did. Just breathing in silence. Maybe you can hear some sounds around you. Maybe you feel the air on your skin. Staying here in Shavasana for a couple more minutes. Just letting yourself sink down even deeper into your mat, feeling all of your muscles letting go now. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in, sighing it out. Thanking yourself for coming to the mat today, for connecting with your fellow yogis, connecting with myself, for giving yourself some love and care and attention. Coming on up to seated now. We will close the class. Namaste, yogis. See you soon. Thank you.